Saturday, Dublin city centre. The Irish tricolour waving above a sea of people. The chants, the banners, the sheer scale of one of the largest protests Ireland has seen in years. What was the message? A resounding opposition to what many see as uncontrolled, unaccountable mass immigration. Hello, I'm Alex Armstrong and this is GBN Originals. Now, whether you love him or loathe him, there's no denying McGregor's influence. But this weekend, it wasn't about UFC titles or pay-per-view numbers. No, it was about a movement, a message, and a march that brought over tens of thousands of Irish men and women onto the streets of Dublin. And they were saying, enough is enough. Now, what's really caught the world's attention is the presence and the passion of Conor McGregor. The UFC legend turned activist was there at Parnell Square, rallying the crowd and sharing his message of unity and resistance. On social media, his post simply read,
"Together we rise. Together we win. God bless us all. God bless Ireland."
But this isn't just a one-off. McGregor's been vocal for months, criticising what he calls the Irish government's illegal immigration racket. He's accused the government of abandoning the Irish people, spending money on overseas issues and letting what he describes as a racket ravage the country. Let's be clear. This was not a protest about hate or division, was it? McGregor himself, in a video message before the march, urged respect, dignity and unity. He reminded everyone that the protest was about honouring the heroes of the 1916 Easter Rising, not sowing discord.
A big day here for our country. A historic month for Ireland since 1916. Over 100 years ago, our brave men and women made the ultimate sacrifice so that we could live free today. So let us remind ourselves why we are here. And also why we are not here. We are not here to build hatred amongst each other. We are not here to sow division. We are here to commemorate the valiant heroes who went before us. We honour their spirit. We honour their fight. And we are here today to shine our light on the failure of Ireland's government and our full disapproval of it. Be respectful. Be proud. Be united. Because together we will be heard. And as one, we will be victorious in our mission. To those leading their march and speaking for the tens of thousands standing behind you, be calm. Be clear. Speak with dignity. We want to hear your voice.
Yeah, he called on the crowd to be calm, clear and dignified, saying we want to hear your voice. Together we rise, together we win. So what's driving the surge in public anger? For many years, it's a sense that the Irish government is out of touch, prioritising global agendas over local needs. Protesters carried banners reading "Irish Lives Matter," "Ireland is full," and "Kulak says no." The march disrupted traffic, filled the city centre and forced the government, of course, and the media to pay attention, finally. It wasn't just about numbers. This was a cross-section of Irish society, young and old, rural and urban, united by a belief that their voices have been ignored just for far too long. Of course, not everyone agrees. There was a counter-demonstration made up of left-wing parties and groups like Labour, People Before Profit and Rosa. They chanted, "Refugees are welcome here," a common phrase they like to use, isn't it? And criticised McGregor for backing the anti-immigration protests. But if you watch the scenes, you saw a city split down the middle. Public order units, mounted police, barriers and helicopters flying overhead. Yet despite the tension, the protest passed largely without incident. What makes Conor McGregor's involvement so significant though? It's not just his celebrity, is it? It's his willingness to say what many feel is unsayable in polite society. He's accused the government of running a racket, of spending Irish money on overseas issues and allowing policies that threaten the very fabric of Irish identity.
And yet now our neighbours from other countries are moving here and with full exemption to drive around our roads with supercharged vehicles that have been imported on the taxpayers' dime. And then also even another crazy statement is, if something happens to your vehicle, if you're a nice friendly visitor or potential new member of our country, you get your vehicle repaired at a cost to the state. So it is just ludicrous, and the people of Ireland are rising up to it. We're just being awakened to it, and that's it. As we awaken, we're noticing.
Wait, is what you said real?
That's very, very real, very, very real, and it's.
How can they justify?
They cannot. There is no justification. You know what there is? Silence, and that doesn't work. You cannot be silent on this. Like I said, you're not going to get off ruining Ireland or ripping off Ireland. Never in a million years.
But if they're paying foreigners to have kids while you can't afford to have kids, if they're shaking you down with the armed police, but allowing foreigners a pass, if they're paying to fix foreigners' cars but not yours, they hate you and they're trying to kill you, right?
It's an erasure. It's an attempted erasure of our people. That is it.
Now that's strong language, isn't it? And it drew fierce criticism. Some accused McGregor of adopting American far-right messaging, of stoking fear and division. But for his supporters, which seem to be ordinary people, he's saying what needs to be said, standing up for Irish families, Irish workers, and Irish values. The Irish government is now on the back foot, aren't they? They're facing a backlash not just from Conor McGregor, one of the biggest superstars in the world, but from a growing section of the public who feel utterly betrayed. The protest was timed to coincide with the anniversary of the 1916 Easter Rising, a powerful reminder of Ireland's fight for independence and self-determination. And what about McGregor? He's hinted at a run for the Irish presidency, hasn't he? He's met with Donald Trump. He's spoken at the White House and he's made it clear he's not backing down. And he did it on St. Patrick's Day nonetheless. Predictably, much of the mainstream media has focused the controversy on the supposed far-right links and the risks of importing American culture wars into Ireland. But what they often miss is the genuine sense of frustration and alienation felt by many ordinary Irish people. So, where does Ireland go from here? Is this the start of a new political movement? Will Conor McGregor's message resonate beyond Dublin, beyond Ireland, and across Europe perhaps? Only time will tell. But what's clear is this: the Irish people are finding their voice. They're demanding accountability, transparency, and a government that puts their interests first. Let's leave the last word to Conor McGregor himself, shall we? From his stirring message before the march.
Be respectful. Be proud. Be united. Because together we will be heard. And as one, we will be victorious in our mission.
Ireland is at a crossroads. The world is watching. And whatever your view, there's no denying this. Together they rise. Thank you for watching. This has been Alex Armstrong, and don't forget to subscribe to the GB News YouTube channel for more.